My name's KG. Oh, sorry. Lots of people call into our office and ask about hypnobirthing, how to train to be a KGHypnobirthing teacher. And so I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about it now. The course, there's lots more information on the website. Read that up first. There's loads of stuff about it, and you'll begin to realize just how wonderful it is. There are also lots and lots of birth reports from mums who have benefited from it, which is fantastic. It may be the reason why you're looking at this, because you are a mum who's benefited from it. You might be a midwife. You might be somebody who has nothing whatever to do with birth. We train all sorts of people. It's just wonderful. So what does the course consist of? It consists of a module which might be face-to-face. It might be virtual on Zoom. These days, of course, we've done lots of Zoom courses, and I think they will continue. There will be some face-to-face courses as well. The Zoom courses are done at different times of day to suit people in different parts of the world. I'm doing one at the moment which starts at 8 in the morning, so even people in New Zealand can come to that one, which is fantastic. Sometimes we do them in the afternoon, sometimes we do them in the evening, which is easier for people, for example, in the States. So wherever you are, we'd love to see you. Sometimes, mainly, the face-to-face courses are taught over 3 days. So it's exactly the same content, whether you do it face-to-face or a virtual course. And there are pros and cons to both ways of doing it. It's lovely on the Zoom courses because people can be there, with their babies, and the cat walks past. It's just really nice and friendly from that respect. And you do miss out on the chats in the coffee break, but I stay on the screen for as long as people want at the end, of course, to chat about anything they have a question about, which is nice. The face-to-face courses obviously have the advantage of being face-to-face, but you do have to travel. You may have to book a hotel room. So, there are pros and cons both ways, but the content is identical. We also have 2 online modules, which you do before you come to the course. One is called Birthing Foundation, and that is basic knowledge about birth. And we do it because if we had to cover that basic knowledge on the course, the midwives, well, in fact, it would be insulting to midwives. They would get incredibly bored. So everybody can come up to a basic level before we start. The other one, that takes about 2 evenings to do. The other one is called Hypnotherapy for Hypnobirthing, and that has the same purpose for hypnotherapy because people are nervous about the hypno word, and it's just nice to know a little bit about how the mind works before we meet up. And that probably takes 1 evening to do, and then another evening to do a couple of little exercises that are on it. So it's not, weeks and weeks of onerous work, but it does bring us all up to a level playing field before we meet up to do the main hypnobirthing course. So what are our other benefits are there of being a teacher? Oh, at the end of the course, there's an assessment to do. It's a perfectly straightforward assessment. You can, it's an open book assessment, but the purpose is not to write a dissertation. You do not want to write a dissertation, and actually we don't want to read it. But it is to make sure that you feel confident, that you have the information at your fingertips before you go out and relay it to pregnant couples. It also has the purpose when you do the assessment, but we can see that you've got it. So that we're clear that everybody who goes out under the KGHypnobirthing label, which is a very prestigious label, is competent in what they're doing. And yeah, we have wonderful teachers. And as I keep saying, it is such a privilege to teach. It is fun. It is a privilege to see those amazing birth reports coming in. And the first one you see that it was one of your mums that you taught, you think, wow, I knew it worked. Now I know it works for me, and that's fantastic. So what else do we have? There is a membership to the organisation, but the first year is free because that's covered in the fee you pay for the course. All this stuff I'm going to tell you about is actually the information is sent you into emails at the right time, so you don't have to remember it all. I'm just giving you some background now. When you have got your diploma, you can have a teaching listing on our website. It gets people work. So definitely worth doing, very worthwhile. People can search for a teacher under name. If somebody said, you must go to so-and-so, she's wonderful. Or under area, somebody thinks, I don't know, I live in Nottingham, is there somebody near me? There's another way of searching, which I've forgotten. There are 3 ways of, the area, or under the name of the place. So there are various ways of teaching. Also, we have a Facebook page. In fact, we have more than one Facebook page, but I'll talk about 2 of them now. One of them is called Hypnobirthing Group. That is the name, Hypnobirthing Group. And it is an open page to anybody where people can discuss, ask questions, and generally find out about KG hypnobirthing. There's good information put there, nice birth stories, sometimes research that has just come out. It's a great place to chat with like-minded people. Once you're a teacher, there is also a teachers Facebook group. And particularly as a new teacher, I think it's useful to see what people are talking about, to go on there. If you have questions about your teaching, I've got a mum who, has anybody had that experience before? And almost undoubtedly somebody will. Now, of course, you can also ask me that question, which in some cases is more appropriate. I'm there for you. I want to help you. Or you can call in the office if it's a technical question. I have to say there are other people who would be better placed for me to answer it. Like if you just reset your password, if you've forgotten your password, but I can't get into the members area. Basically, there's always somebody here who can help you with it, which I think is unique about hypnobirthing, actually, that 9 to 5 every day there's somebody there. And actually, if it's an emergency, the phone transfers to somebody out of office hours. So we're there to help. There are products in the shop, but there are some products which are only available to teachers, like, it's back to back on a screen, like the KGH badge that I'm wearing, that I always wear, we all always wear when we teach. I also wear it basically to anything that's work related. Midwives often wear it on their lanyard, so that if a KGH mum comes into the hospital, they can say, oh, I've got a midwife who will really understand what I'm doing. That's fantastic. So it's a prestigious organisation. Make the most of it. People will know that you had a very, very excellent training if you're wearing that badge. So there are other things in the shop. There are leaflets that you might want to hand out to people. What else just for teachers? There are a few products which are just relevant to teachers, but all the products in the shop, as a teacher, you get a substantial discount. So you will need to buy books to give to the people on your courses, but you get them at a special rate, which is fantastic. And you can even get them off Amazon at a special rate because we'll give you a code to get them like that. We have a library on our website. It is just resources, articles, things that we've gathered that we think you might be interested in. So it's there if you want to flick through it and have a look at it. One of the absolutely great things we have, which I find enormously useful, and I think you will too, we have fact sheets. Because, for example, if somebody is facing the question as to whether they should agree to, and it can be quite a lot of pressure to agree to an induction, they want to find out good information. So we have a fact sheet on induction of labour, which anybody, the parents you teach, can download, and it will point you to good, factual, evidence-based information so that you or the women you teach can make an informed choice and are in a position to give informed consent, not just face pressure to agree to something which they don't really know a lot about. We've got about 10 of them at the moment. The number is growing all the time. As I said, induction of labour is one of the most popular ones. We've got them on breech birth, IVF birth, lots more. Big babies, that's another thing that people get put under pressure about. So have a look. They're excellent. Download them anyway. Get them. Point other people in that direction because they're really useful. What else? Oh, yes, of course. We have a lovely monthly newsletter that goes out. It's sometimes has a book recommendation. It certainly has a lot of good, up-to-date information and suggestions for teachers. It's definitely of value to teachers, so that's good. I've talked about the support from the office. I've got a prompt sheet here, so I don't need to talk about that again. When you order things from us, the books that you need and things, they always get sent out within 24 hours. But as I say, if you prefer to order them off Amazon, that's fine. You can order them off there too. So that is more or less it. I have to say, as I've already said, but I'm saying it again because I get a bit over enthusiastic sometimes, being a KGH teacher is a massive privilege. Every time you teach, it's different because you're teaching different people. And every time you get a birth report, you can do cartwheels of delight, knowing that the difference you've made to people's lives.